Good afternoon, everybody. We're just going to give people just a little bit of time to jump on. This is not going to be a long broadcast at all. It's a very short one. We're just doing a community update, letting you know on what's on tap for this coming weekend. As it is going to be I guess for those of us here in the U.S., it's a holiday weekend. And so we're going to be, there's going to be things that we'll try to do this weekend. We'll, stick to our normal schedule, but we may try to do a little bit of extra too. So like I said, again, this will not be long at all. I'm just going to hit the points and we're going to keep it moving. So glad that you guys can join us here. Feels like it's been a minute since I've been live, but we're here. Seems like the weather is, at least where we are, it seems like it's finally getting in. It finally found its groove. That's how it is. I mean, at least for us here in the Northeast, it'll just go back and forth, and then finally it just says, you know what? Come on in, summer. You got this. I tried to hold on, but summer, come on in. Come on in the room. All right, so it's going to be less than a minute, and then we're going to go ahead and get started, okay? All right, thank you so much for tuning in to this community update that we are doing right now for you. We always, the days that you'll see the most activity on this platform will be on the days of Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. But also, considering the fact that we're getting into Memorial Day weekend, it may be a little bit extra we might do. Don't know. We'll find out. We'll figure that out. Okay. But anyway, just wanted to do just some updates on what's going on here. And again, I hope you had a great week. And anyway, so first things first, tonight, it's Friday. So on Fridays, what do we do on Fridays? We have movie night. That's right. We have movie night every Friday night, not here on YouTube. We won't be able to swing it here on YouTube because, YouTube's going to have some issues, with that. Hey, Dawn, how you doing? Newly coming back from a vacation from an undisclosed location. I can't disclose here, but sounds like y'all had a lot of fun. Anyway, movie night tonight, starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That will be over on mybondtube.com. All right. That's where we'll have our movie night. We try to do it every Friday night, and it's just a time we just pick a movie and we just show it, and that's it. And it's a wonderful time because, again, we can look at whatever movie we want to look at, y'all. Whatever movie we want to look at. It's kind of like a group thing. You show a movie and people be in the chat, they're saying their things or whatever about it or whatever. And yeah, and that's what it is. And so tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on mybondtube.com. All right, it'll be over there where you'll be able to catch the movie, okay? Let's see. Next thing, let's go to our page here. Let me pull this up right quick. Okay, so just kind of quick updates here. So if you haven't if you didn't catch the latest podcast broadcast that we did this week, that has been up. I just have to put it on SoundCloud. I just remembered. So that will be up here. So yeah, so the latest one, we talked about the NAACP warning, that they have in regards to Florida. And it's warning black folks everywhere. Don't go to Florida. It's scary for black folks there. It's scary. Don't go there. Well, we talked about that. Then one of the questions that we raised in that podcast was, okay, if it's so scary, then why y'all offices still open there? It's still open. And ain't nobody running from there. All right. So let me, because this reminds me, let me see if I can pull this up right quick. Let me see. NAACP, warning, travel. Okay, here it is. Let's see. Travel warning. Okay, I'll type this in. Someone brought up a very, they took it down. Did they take it down? Wait a minute. Okay. Florida. Sorry about this. This is kind of spur of the moment here. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Okay. Someone brought up a great point, in the comment section on that podcast, and they were talking about how DeSantis, one of the things he is doing that particularly black folks do definitely need to be aware of, and I 100% agree with this, is the fact that he has put the invite for cops all over the country that have been canceled by their local departments because of whatever. And they're saying, come on down to Florida. We'll welcome, we'll have you. And so, some of these cops ain't necessarily the best of actors, if you know what I mean. And they're all conversing down in the state of Florida. The state of Florida has rolled out a welcome mat for them. So, if you got some cops that don't have necessarily the best of records, all converging down in one state, yeah, that is something that, our people need to be aware of. Now, let's take a look at what the NAACP, did they cover that? Because that was a very important point that someone brought up in the community, on the comment section of that podcast. This is the press release that the NAACP put out, and this is exactly what I was talking about. I want you to make sure you take note of what they're talking about here, okay? Today, the NAACP Board of Directors issued a former travel advisory for the state of Florida. This travel advisory comes in direct response to Governor Ron DeSantis' aggressive attempts to erase Black history and to restrict diversity, equity, and inclusion programs right here. This is what this is all about here. Because we talked about this as far as Black history is concerned. No, Black history is not being erased in Florida. That's not true. The program in which they were trying to bundle Black history in was including what you see highlighted here. See, that's the other part that a lot of folks ain't paying attention to, but this is what was going on. We explained all that in the podcast. You can listen to it, okay? So anyway, and then it goes on, it says the former travel notice states Florida is openly hostile towards African Americans, people of color, and LGBTQ plus individuals. And it goes on. This was all about that ladder right there. It had nothing to do with Black folks because, again, if this was a full out, straight up warning that Black people need to get on out of Florida because it's so scary down here, then why is it, again, that the NAACP hasn't packed up their bags and left that state? Because they are they are nothing more than political boogeymen. That's it. So anyway, I wanted to bring that up because I thought that was a great point that someone brought up there. Anyway, let's move on here. Another thing I wanted to point out here, let me pull this up here. This weekend, so Friday night at 7:30 p.m., that's tonight, Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have our movie night over on mybondtube.com. Saturday, tomorrow, at around noonish, we'll be doing our weekly Samba teaching over there, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, for this week, it's going to be, again, straight to the point, and it won't be long. It's not going to be long at all. It's going to be straight to the point, family. You know, we've been hitting on some things, in this ongoing series that we've been doing. I don't even know if this is, I guess this would be considered part of the series, what we're going to talk about tomorrow. But again, what we've been doing is taking a closer look on these teachings. We've been taking a closer look at the Bible and looking at and then really inspecting it, and not just the Bible itself, but the people behind it. We've been looking at that as well. And I did a post this week because I mentioned about, scroll down here, in this post, I was talking about how I know for myself, I don't know about you, there's been a lot of action, if you will, from, a Christian apologist, I would say black Christian apologists out here who have been going, I don't know, it just came out of the blue. It's like they just got on code and start saying, we're going to attack African spirituality. All of it is of the devil. Every last bit of African spirituality is of the devil. This is kind of what they're putting out here. And so, again, since they are in, devil hunting, then it's always best to start in your own house. I mean, wouldn't you say that? It's always best to stay in your own house. Now, we've done a series, I don't know how you will make that a plural, but you know what I mean, where we've actually looked at, as we are step by step looking at the history of Christianity, looking at the history of the Bible, looking at all of this. And I tell you, you will be amazed at the foundations. Like I've always said, if you want to understand a thing, you always have to look at the foundation. You always have to do that. History should never be treated like some kind of smorgasbord where you pick and choose the item points that are convenient and make you look good. You got to take the good and the bad so that you can learn from both. And you find a lot of groups do this kind of stuff. Okay. A lot of groups. You got Hebrews that do this. You got Christians that do this. We got to look at all of it so that we can learn from it and make sure that we're not and become better. And at the same time, not to repeat the mistakes from the past. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, in this post here on the community page, I mentioned like 3 things, on this post here. Let's see. It said and I had the images here. Now, again, this is all part of the history, bundled in the history of Christianity. Now, you have people that will, they'll say, oh, no, that's not. They were agnostics. They weren't really Christians. No, how people always play that game. I'm talking regardless. I don't care if it's Christians, Hebrews, whatever. It don't matter. In 2023, where we stand right now, people conveniently, when they look at history, when they look back, well, they weren't really our people. They was another brand of people. That was something different. No, that's all part of it. You got to look at all of it. You know what I mean? So anyway, in this post I talked about, I said in this first image, and I've talked about this, y'all, people who follow us, this should be old news to you by now. We've been talking about this in great detail. So what I talked about in this first image here, what is this? It's a crazy looking book, isn't it? This is referred to as the Codex Gigas. That's the official name of it. The non-official name is the Devil's Bible. Yes, it's called the Devil's Bible. This book contains most of the Christian Bible, along with an entire section of spells. This is a product of Rome, where your Bible came from. All right. You can't separate that from your history now. All right. Second of all, let's go to the next one. Saint Jerome was responsible for translating the Bible into Latin. Key sentence here. All translations we have today rest on the shoulders of his work. So yeah, it rests on the shoulders of his work. Now, when you look up paintings of Saint Jerome, he's always pointing to a skull. Now, I'm not an art expert. I wouldn't put myself there, but I'm not crazy. So I'm somewhere between not being an art expert and not being crazy. I'm somewhere in the middle. Okay. I think most of us can say we're somewhere in the middle of that. But anytime you see a depiction of a skull or a skeleton in artwork, it typically means death. That's what it typically means. Now, I'm sure you're going to have some people who are going to say, oh, he was pointing to the brain. He was saying knowledge. No, let's not go there. Like I said, again, I'm between not being an art expert and being dumb. Okay, I'm between that. So in artwork, generally speaking, when you see a skull present, it usually means death. That's what it means. Now, this is St. Jerome is considered the father pretty much of our translations that we have today. And yet, when you look up St. Jerome, do a Google image search if you like, and just about every image that you see of him, he's always doing the same thing. Now, what if someone came up to you and said, hey, listen, I got a book here that will change your life. And if you listen to it, if you follow it, man, it's going to, you just got to do everything it says on there, right? And then you find out, and you're like, okay, cool, let me check this joint out. So you check it out, and you're looking through it, and it's like, okay, let's go, or whatever. And then you come across, all of a sudden, now you on the internet one day, and then you come across the person that gave you the book, try it, buy it, make it, sell it. I did not forget about you. I haven't forgotten about you. It's Friday, and this is where I'm on the down part of my roller coaster ride for the week. So I'm going to get to your stuff, okay? Didn't forget about your sis, okay? Anyway, you on the internet, and while you on the internet, you come across some pictures of the individual that gave you this book. And in every picture, he's standing with a skull or a skeleton. You're going to have some questions, aren't you? Well, now, wait a minute now. Well, if this is how he gets down like this on the internet, then what the heck did he put in his book? That should be naturally the questions you're going to have, right? Well, that's what we're doing. This is why it's important to study and to understand these individuals that are out here. You know what I mean? That had helped put together this belief system that many of us have come through. So that's what we're doing we'll try to do it every Saturday, and we take little snippets of stuff because it can be very overwhelming. It can be extremely overwhelming. So we can't do it all at once. So I am officially telling you that gone are the days, I think, okay, that, how we would do 2.5, 3-hour videos and we just going to, I can do that. Okay. I have for me, I have the aptitude to kind of take in and go through all that stuff, but I also understand too, that you have people who don't. So we have to slice it up into smaller bits so that people can be like, okay, all right. So this is this. Okay. All right. And then we're going to say, okay, here's the information. Now you take it. Here's all the resources. Here's all the links. If we have books that we can give you, here's the links to the free books. We give away books all the time. All the time we're giving away books. And so if you want to look this up yourself, here we go. Got a whole library where you can just take as many books as you want so that you can look these things up on your own and be a little bit more informed. Okay. And so that's what we do every Saturday. At least we try to do. So tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time, we will be having our, we'll be having our Samba, we call it Samba gathering. It's just a time for us to come together. We pray for one another, because we all got something going on we need folks to pray about. And so we get together and we pray for one another. We just have a good old time and we just kind of look through things a little bit. Ain't going to be too heavy, ain't going to be too hard, but it is going to be truth. All right. You can count on that. Okay. So that, again, tomorrow, noon Eastern Standard Time over on mybondtube.com. All right. All right. So let's move on. Let me see. So that's tomorrow. Okay. Now, Sunday, we're going to do starting around, I think I said around 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when we do our what we call Digital Plantation TV. All right. Digital Plantation TV. And it's about an hour-long broadcast that we're going to do live Sunday, where we just go over some of the news of the week. It's going to be very condensed. And like I said, again, no more than an hour. No more than an hour. I'm getting it, okay? And then there's like a half an hour break. And then, so that'll put us, like 7:30. We will be live again on my BondTube, and that is where you will find Off Plantation Radio. Okay, we're taking it off the plantation, and that's where we'll get in and we'll talk about our, more news, things that we cannot talk about on this platform. All right, that's where we handle all that business over there. Okay, so that will be Sunday. All right, so movie night tonight, starting at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. We got Samba teaching or Samba gathering tomorrow about noonish tomorrow Eastern Standard Time, Saturday. Sunday, we're going to have our Digital Plantation TV, 6 p.m. And then about 7:30 p.m., that's when we'll do Off Plantation Radio. All right. So I don't expect y'all to remember all of this. We'll walk you through step by step every time when we're doing any of these things. I'm just letting you know, okay? And we'll post it on the community page so that you can, follow along if you like, okay? So anyway, let's go ahead and get to moving right along. Oh, I forgot this. I forgot to mention this other part here in the post. The other thing, too, because I talked about, him, St. Jerome, and then let's get to this other one. Well, we've all heard of Lucifer, right? Well, did you know that there's a Saint Lucifer? Yes, there's a Saint Lucifer. We went quite extensively and talked about that in one of the series that we've done as well. So you got 3 different things here. So I put in the post, I said, perhaps we should do a series on the witchcraft of Christianity. I'm telling you, you want to talk about opening up a whole box. And what's quite interesting is one of these apologists that are out here, he is unashamedly a fraternity member. He's a Kappa, to be precise. And remember, we did a series on the fraternities and each god that they represent. So how in the world can you attack all of African spirituality and say all of it's bad when you yourself have made a covenant with a pagan deity? You figure that out and you let me know. Okay, you figure that out and you let me know. But anyway, we're going to move right along. Okay, so just wanted to let you know about that one. All right, so let me go back to here. And another thing we try to do on this page, let's see. Like I said, again, it's just community update that we're doing right now. Shorts. We are into the shorts. And yeah, we try to find all these short clips and stuff that we upload. I try to keep it positive, y'all, because it's so much negative stuff out there. I mean, there's so many people, there's so many videos out there of us arguing and debating and tearing each other down, talking about each other's mama, showing our behinds, showing the worst of our culture. Well, we don't have anything to do with that. Instead, we want to use this platform as a way to highlight the positive of our people. From historically, we're going to get into some health and wellness stuff, travel, things like that. And we're doing it now, and we're going to talk about some other things as well, really highlighting the beauty of our people. How about that? That's basically what I'm trying to say. So this is a whole nother section here now of things that we're doing really to try to, shine a positive light, if you will. Not really shine a positive light, shine a light on the positive that's already there amongst our people. You know what I'm saying? So so every day I try my best to upload at least 1 to 2 shorts, on here. So be checking those out as well. So just wanted to let you know what we're doing on there. Already talked about the community tab and all of that. All right, moving right along, and we're almost finished. I told you this is not going to be long at all. This is not going to be long. All right, shockstock.art. Shockstock.art. This is our page. Again, this is another way of how we are working to try to get people to focus on the positive of our people. And boy, do we have a lot of it. We have a whole lot of it. And so this is another way that we do that is through this page called shockstock.art. All right. And so what we do is it's AI imagery. Yes. And like I said, later on in the year, we're going to have some actual photography and stuff that we're going to be doing. I already have some things on there right now. I'm going to be adding some more of photos that you can buy and use for projects. You can create your own greeting cards, your own calendars, whatever you want to do. And we price them very low. Okay. So this week we introduced 2 brand new additions to the family. So we already had these down here. All right. We got a whole collection for women, couples, people who are in foraging, children and youth, men, the Go West Pack, wedding, inventors, a mother's love. And we just, early this week, we 5 royalty-free images that you can use. They're free. All you got to do is click on it, download, enjoy it. All right. This week, we introduced 2 more. The Tech Pack. All right. The Tech Pack. If you're looking for images that highlight our people in the tech world, and let's say if you're doing a project, you're doing something that you want some images of our people, working on some computers or designing some computers, or, you be looking for stuff sometime when you're like, man, I'm trying to do a Google image search of, I want a black man at a computer, or a black man and woman, they're, teaching from a computer or whatever. So we put a pack together of 30 of them. And for $9.98, this is our tech pack right here on Shockstock, and they were very well done. It takes a lot of time to do this. It ain't just typing in a sentence and that's it. I mean, that's the basics of it, but you got to also understand other things such as lighting, and you got to understand, what lens to use and angles and stuff like that. If the more you know about these things, the better your images will come out, and so that's what we're able to do here. So we got the tech pack. If you're looking for tech pictures of black folks, in that space, well, we got 30 of them you can use. $9.98, you can use them for whatever, as long as you don't resell them. All right. But other than that, go for it. And also, with this being graduation season, we came up with another pack. It's the graduate pack. All right. So we came up with 10 royalty-free images that you can use if you're, let's say, if you got a graduate in the house, maybe you got a graduate in the family that you just want to send a card to, and you want to do more of a personal touch, all right? More of a personal touch type card, something you made, because some of them folks that you get on them cards, maybe they don't look exactly like us. They be looking kind of gray. You know what I'm saying? They black or I don't know. Well, anyway, it's wonderful because we have actual control over how we are depicted. And this is the thing I really like about this. So we just put together 10 images that you can use for $4.98 that you can get now, download, and you can use it, if you get one of these Avery, I got it right here. Let me switch here. If you go to like Office Max, Office Depot, and you get something like this, the Avery thing right here, and greeting cards, And all Avery needs is what image you want me to put on a card. It's card stock. We don't sell this, but it comes with envelopes. You can go to any office store and most of them should have it. And you can create your own greeting cards, with these images. And these are images that you can use for just about anything. All right. So again, the website is chalkstock.art, and you can check that out. Those are the latest things that we just added there as well. So yeah, as you can see, we got a whole lot going on, family. That's why I wanted to come live on here right quick, just kind of bring people up to speed on what we're doing, and so you can know what we're doing and what's going on. Now Monday, we'll see how Monday goes. Mondays. This coming Monday, we may do a marathon, a movie marathon, something like that. So if you have any ideas for movies that perhaps we should play on Monday, you can email us at connect@journeymanandwoman.com. Again, that's connect@journeymanandwoman.com. And, if you have any suggestions for a movie or movies that we can play, and I'm open to the idea of doing a movie marathon. And we can do that as long as only thing I ask, the only thing I pray, if I have one prayer, let it be a movie, please. For now, for me. Okay, just do it for me. How about that? Do it for me. If we can just focus on movies where we don't die at the end. Okay. Where we don't die at the end, okay? I understand our history. I get it. That we had some negative stuff going on in our history. I understand that. Nobody's trying to run from that. But doggone it, can't we not just stay there? That's my thing. I ain't trying to stay there, okay? There's some other things we can look at and appreciate and get entertainment value out of, maybe learn a little bit too, and that's it. I had a very interesting discussion under the post we did about the color purple. Let me just put it this way. Y'all grown. If that's you want to go see it, enjoy yourself, okay? Enjoy yourself. Ain't nobody trying to debate anybody over no movie. It's 2023. You got wars and rumors of wars going on all over the place. Did you hear that they're talking about another virus is potentially on the way to? I mean, there's a lot going on in the world today for me to be sitting down and arguing with folks over a movie. I'm not doing that, okay? Share my thoughts on it, and that's it. And, when I talked about The Color Purple, now the movie The Color Purple, like I said, I saw the original one. And I will be totally honest and tell you, cinematography was phenomenal. The acting, phenomenal. The music was beautiful, very moving. All of that, on that note, it's all 10 as far as I'm concerned. So that you could not take away from the original one. But as I got older and I started processing things, I was like, wait a minute, every black man in this movie, they weren't just bad, they were evil. Like every black man in this movie was evil. Like beating up our women evil, that kind of thing. And I was like, nah, I can't watch that, man. That's trauma. That's too much trauma. I can't watch that. And, and then so when I heard they were doing a remake, I was like, oh my God. I mean, y'all there's no other stories in the world of people's minds that we can't come up with. We can't come up with any other movie, any other script. But we're going to redo The Color Purple again. We're going to do that again. And don't be surprised, family. I would not be surprised. Give it another 2 years, they'll probably redoing Precious featuring Lizzo. Don't be surprised. I'm telling you. And I had a couple of people like, well, just got all mad. And saying, how is it, I don't understand. See, it's people like you. You just want to hide our stuff. We need to be talking about this stuff publicly. We've got to stop burying our stuff and our pain and all this stuff. And I just said, well, listen, is the pain there in our community? Absolutely. Do people go through some bad things like that? Yes, but not to that degree. I mean, if you've seen that movie, Color Purple, I mean, everyone, every male could not wait to beat up. I mean, now, if you are in a family like that, now, I'm not going to say that you ain't got families that are messed up. You got families that out there that are messed up. Sure enough. But I'm trying to tell you today, I have yet to come across any black person where every black male was on that level of demonic force. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. Oh, we got some demons up in our households, but not like that. I mean, that was a whole nother level. Now, I don't know how they're going to do it in this movie, but, you know, it's 2023, so, you know, they got to ramp everything up, including the lesbian scene. But anyway, they're going to ramp everything up. And so I'm sitting up here like, so I've never seen that. Again, I'm not saying that we don't have issues and problems, but what I asked these individuals in the comments, I said, let me ask you this. Why do you think it's a good idea? Because we know we got some issues, we got some problems, and it's okay to do a story about it or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. That's good. But why would you take such a sensitive and trust such a sensitive topic to an industry that from the jump never got our stories right? Never. They never got our stories right. Ever, 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 ever. They never got our stories right. Why would you? Because what the argument they were trying to make is, see, by doing these movies, it opens up conversation. No, it doesn't. It opens up your pocketbooks and it opens up their bank account. That's what it does. It don't open up no conversation at all. It doesn't. So let's just stop playing with that. No, it doesn't. And so, no, movies like that, no, they do not open up conversations. And quite honestly, they're not helpful. Now, they are, like I said, again, cinematography, the music, the singing, all that stuff. I'm sure all of that's on point. And that's what a lot of people who are very excited about this, that's what they are excited about. But see, there is another message that's interwoven in that storyline, especially when you know Alice Walker and her history. She has some serious issues, and it all blended in that movie. And see, this is what I'm trying to say. It's nothing wrong. Look, there are movies out there that do deal with, you know, topics that are, you know, very important. You know, movies that deal with homelessness, people that are handicapped or whatever. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing things like that. But I'm saying for black folks, for us, if we are that serious about, I would never entrust that industry to tell our stories on something like that. And they have already proven it. They're going to say, okay, we're going to tell the story about abuse in the home in the black community. So what we're going to do is we're going to make every black man in this movie an abuser. Everyone. That's not true. That is not, you will rarely find it. You will rarely find it. So why would you're not going to do that. That's like, we're going to do a movie about Germans. So we're going to make everyone in the family Nazis. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, this is the extreme that we got to go to this extreme to make a point. No, we've been extreme for 400 years. I don't need y'all to do that. Okay. So again, I just said, that's what I said, listen, you want to go see it? You go right on ahead. Enjoy yourself. But if we're going to have a conversation about this, we're going to be honest. And you telling me that this is going to open up conversations, and no, it ain't open up. What we advocate here on this platform is for people to get professional counseling. We are strong advocates of that. If you are finding yourself in a situation, because there's a lot of people, you've had institutions that have been dedicated to run our people away from getting professional counseling. And this is something that really needs to be shouted from the rooftops. It's something that really we need to be advocates of for real. And we need to work on that. You know what I'm saying? For real. And there are some very good people out there that are in that sector of professional counseling, you know, walking people through some of these issues and problems like that. And that's what the focus needs to be on. Do you understand what I'm saying? Not waiting for Hollywood to come out with a movie, because and then they try to bring up Precious. I was like, I'm not watching that movie. It's Precious, and it's another movie. I don't know if any of y'all saw it. I did not see it. Is it called For Color Girls Only? I did not see that movie. I did not see the stage play. But I think that's the movie where they said someone jumped out of a building or something like that. I put all of that under traumatainment. Traumatainment. It's traumatainment. I'm not watching it. No. Mm-mm. Oh, but Dwayne, the acting, it was so powerful. Yeah, but I ain't trying to have a powerful headache after I finish watching a movie. No, I'm not. I'm aware of that. Because people will say, well, this is real. This is really real. And we need to put this on the big screen. Okay, well, child molestation is real. So we need to start making movies about that too. You understand what I'm saying? How far you want to go with this? No, you just want to be entertained by your pain. And that's not, I just don't. So ain't nobody up here going to be beating up folks and saying, hey, if you see that movie, you are the devil. And God ain't. No, not at all. If you want to do that, that is up to you. My man said, nowhere in the scripture does it tell you to seek advice from a counselor or therapist, only from the Father. Well, if you want to abide by that, sir, you go ahead and do that. But for the rest of us, there are people out here that need a real person to walk them through their problems. Okay? You need real people to walk you through real problems. Now, prayer can be a part of that. I'm not saying I'm a strong advocate of prayer, but you also need, let's put it this way. The Bible tells you a lot of things too, such as, not working on the Sabbath, right? You got a lot of people who work on the Sabbath. Do you really want to have that conversation? Do you really want to have that conversation? So no, we are about, we want to see some real solutions for our people, and seeking counsel, seeking help from people. This is probably why you see a lot of craziness going on in that sector that you're part of. You see all this fighting and debating and stuff that's been going on as of late. One channel against another channel, and this channel. Some of these folk got some pain, man. I mean, they got some childhood stuff. You can say all you want. Oh, we got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay, you keep that. But some folks that be saying that are off because something happened to them a long time ago, and they need to get some counseling. Do you understand what I'm saying? They need to get some help. And this is something we've encountered a whole lot, where people need to get, and it's not for everybody. I'm not saying everybody needs to do it, but you got folks out there that, man, they got some. It's some stuff, man. You're going to need a professional to help you walk through that stuff. You understand what I'm saying? And like I said, again, there's some very good people that are out there that love the Most High and love you too enough to make sure that I ain't talking about go to someone that's going to give you some pills. Ain't nobody talking about that. Okay. But I'm talking about folks that have a love and a compassion for the people. You know what I'm saying? Enough to say, hey, listen, I'm going to give you this. Let's walk through this together. You know what I'm saying? Because you got too many of our people who are getting advice and marriage advice in the chat room. I've seen it a whole lot. Well, what y'all need to do? I got this husband. He just on my last nerve. What y'all think I should do? You in the chat talking to people with lions, hiding behind lions and tigers and dragons and stuff like that. I'm saying they ain't even using their real faces, and you getting advice from people in the chat. What do you advise, Mr. Lion? Tell me, Mr. Lion, what should I do with my life at this point? Should I marry this person? Like a Dungeons and Dragons set. I'm serious. Yes, for real. For real. So yes, so family, yes. Exactly. Yes, there is a balance between the two. I'm saying you seek professional advice. Yes, and you do seek the Father. Absolutely. But do you know there are a lot of people out there who are crazy in the head? And I'm not being, I mean, maybe that's too harsh. Okay. There are a lot of people who are off in the head and will tell you, I seek the Father. I prayed about this. I'm trying to tell you. And so so what a lot of people do is they just leave. Okay, well, they said they left. Okay, so they said they're seeking. Okay, we're going to leave it alone. Sometimes for people, that's not enough. You need someone to help you. You need someone to come in and say, okay, let me help you. Because I know, yeah, I understand you say you're praying. That's good. Okay, but let me come along. See, that's where elders are supposed to come into play. I'm talking about real elders. I ain't talking about by title and all that other stuff. I'm talking about real people, adults, real adults in a room that can spot that stuff and lovingly try to help people, not tell them what to do, but to show them kind of how to navigate through this stuff. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's where elders come in. But right now, we're in a world today where a lot of the elders want to be the youngers. You know what I'm saying? So again, you seek the Father. Okay, I got you. All right. Yes, you seek him, but you also seek some natural advice too. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. That's not something you should run away from. It is because these are very important issues. We got a lot of folks out here who are still carrying the scars of the past, things that happened to them in childhood. And it doesn't have to be anything tragic like, you were raped, something that extreme. But it could be something as simply as you were the middle child. Maybe you were ignored as a child. Maybe your father didn't show you enough love, or maybe your mother didn't show you enough love, or whatever it may be. You understand what I'm saying? And what happens is you carry that on to your adulthood. And now you find yourself in your 50s and 60s on, and you're still operating in that pain. And that's where you need help. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yes, you pray, you seek him, but you also, depending on how the severity of it, there's nothing wrong with seeking some professional help. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's all I'm saying. And again, that's not for everybody, but in some cases, you definitely need to do that. Okay. So I wasn't even trying to go this long, family. This is just a community update. But what I just finished talking about was a spinoff of this whole post I actually did, where we talked about the Color Purple, movie coming out. And you got some folks out here that are just so excited and they're just ready to go see it. And I'm saying, hey, you go right on ahead. Nobody's going to sit up here and beat you up about it. I'm not going to shame you or anything like that. We don't do that here. But, if there are some things to be pointed out about it that you should take note of it, well, guess who's going to do it? Yours truly. All right. Well, family, that's all I have for you in this community update for May the 26th, 2023. And give us about a half an hour or so. I'm not going to announce to you the name of the movie. Not on this platform. Oh, no. You're going to have to come over there at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. That's about less than a half an hour away. Over on mybondtube.com to find out what movie we're going to be playing. All right. Well, family, we love you very much. You guys take care, and I'll see you next time.